Hey guys, MC Collector here with another figure review. This time we have here the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series from Star Wars The Book of Boba Fett. Here we have the Mandalorian from Glavis Ringworld. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I don't remember where the hell this is. This is the Book of Boba Fett. So he was on one of those planets. Which planet it was, I truly don't know. I'm assuming it was when we first see him and he's on some weird planet and he's like using the Darksaber, but it's all heavy and shit and he can't use it. I think you guys will have to let me know down in the comments below if that is what it was. I have no interest in watching the Book of Boba Fett again. Even if I did, I would watch those 2 episodes that didn't even have Boba Fett in them, because those were the best episodes. Now, I didn't hate the Book of Boba Fett, but I also didn't think it was great. There were some good things about it, sure. There were some bad things about it, yeah. Just overall, again, it just, the show wasn't for me, let's put it that way. But we got a really cool Mandalorian figure to go with it. Now, my understanding is that this figure is brand new body mold and everything like that. So here we have the original version for Season 2. And then here we have a brand new one. And again, my understanding is that it is a brand new mold. It looks like the gun is new because I see wood grain in the handle where I don't see that in that one. It looks a little bit shinier. I don't know height-wise or anything like that. If it's going to be taller, we'll kind of go through that. We'll do a comparison so you guys can see it. The best part is the jetpack is actually silver on this one, whereas the previous one, it was a dull matte gray, which sucked. It was kind of weird. So it'll be kind of cool. But anyway, looking at the artwork there for Djarin, the Mandalorian, looks pretty cool there. The back of the package says, after entrusting Luke Skywalker with Grogu's care, the Mandalorian, known to few as Din Djarin, sets off to learn more about the origins of his people. So there we go. But let's get this out of the package and take a look. He's got a soft goods cape, which is the biggest thing. This body I know is getting another release or has released or something. I'm confused by it, but it'll have a plastic cape. This one is the soft goods one, which is good, which that one also had a hard plastic cape. So here we go. Let's check it out. Okay, guys, so here's the Mandalorian figure out of the package. Fun fact, I did a whole review on this figure, and I'm re-recording it because I think I may have been, like, super unfair. I was on, like, doing this video, like, and it was taking forever. I was talking about the comparisons between the two, and I'm like, this isn't that good of a figure. I'm messing with it. The more and more that I'm messing around with it, the better I like it. So, straight up, my first impressions were not great on this figure because there are some things on here that I don't quite like. But there are some really good things. So, of course, the whole new body mold it's a big difference. Initially, I'm like, I don't see how it's even all that new. But looking at the side-by-side comparison, which we'll do, there is a lot of difference between this one and the previous Mandalorian figure. So, like the Season 2 one, this figure is wider. Not a huge amount, but wider where it looks to make more sense and be more proportionate, the body-wise. The helmet is wider, looks better. The silver just looks better. So there are good things on there. But the knees are single-jointed knees, which I'm not the biggest fan of. We got double-jointed knees in the past. I like double-jointed knees. I like these. We don't have these now. We got a single joint, and I don't care for them as much. They don't do a bad job in any kind of way. I just would have preferred them to be double-jointed, but overall, pretty good. Here's the super negative thing that I'm going to talk about. He only has one set of hands, not a trigger finger hand. The right one is a trigger finger hand, so that's cool. We'll hold the gun nice and easy. Holds the Darksaber, okay. It's a little loose in there, but this one, like, it's so bad. This hand, like, does nothing. It's just kind of weird. Like, and I don't know where the hell I put the knife that he comes with that he can't store anywhere. I think I may have lost it. But the knife, he can't hold or do anything with the knife. It will just completely fall through, and you will absolutely lose it. Like I did, apparently. Where the hell did that knife go? So the knife is gone, but he can't hold he can't hold the knife in either hand. The knife is just going to completely fall through. So that's kind of weird. The gun looks good. The gun is updated because you could see we do have wood grain in the handle there. We did not have that before. It is a darker color. The one that we had gotten before was a bright silver, as you could see there. So it is a little bit different. We don't get the long rifle that came with the previous one. So I brought it out here. We do have that peg in the back though. So you can actually store it on his back. It just doesn't come with it. So you can do that, which is cool. A little bit of comparison with the two jetpacks. One is actually now silver. They aren't completely the same, but they are very, very similar. This one for like the exhaust ports there, the thrusters, a little bit larger hole. It's got these pegs that come down a little bit there, which are not on the other one. And as you can see, they port onto the back of the figure completely different there. So now with the soft goods cape, which is quite nice, you can easily just port this right on his back and have it like so you can kind of have this off to the side while he's, you know, going into his flight poses, or you can kind of have it up a little bit. It drapes over there kind of large, but it's not, I guess, that big of a deal because, you know, how else are you going to do it? So that kind of works there. The cape is nice. The soft goods, as you can see, it's kind of tattered at the ends there, kind of ripped, and you got some holes in it. That came out looking really good. So those are kind of the things there. We have the dark saber. The hilt itself is just a dark color. The blade is just black with a little bit of a white outline there. The blade can be removed, as you can see there. So you just have the hilt, and then on the back of the figure on Djarin's belt, there is a hook there, so you can just hook the loop and he can hold the dark saber like so. So that is a nice touch there. Okay, so looking at the side-by-side differences, when you look at the helmets, you're like, oh man, what a huge difference between the helmets. This one, for whatever reason, the ends kind of curved in. Very wide on this new one, looks better. The silver just looks a whole lot better too. It's definitely a lot shinier. Looking at the pauldron is a lot larger than the rhino thing. I forget what the animal is called, but you can see it's much more defined in the sculpt of it. The right pauldron is new. I feel like the lower arms on the older one were a little bit better though. As you can see, there's a lot more going on here because he has the flamethrower, and then the cable, right, is all in the left arm, I thought. This one's a little bit smaller. We have it kind of underneath, whereas this one was kind of on the side. Looking at the right arm, a little bit different. There's more sculpted detail in it for sure, but I kind of like the size of the old ones better. But you can see torso-wise, we're much wider here. And the reason why we are a little bit wider is because this is a rubber overlay. So we actually have a rubber overlay, which is quite nice. So you can see this is almost like a separate piece on the rubber overlay also. So it kind of extends out, whereas you can see here, it's just, you know, part of the sculpt. So that is kind of nice. But then you also have the strap piece, which is a separate piece. So you got like two floating pieces that need to work together. It's kind of weird. As you can see, this is up underneath this one that's over it, and it's just kind of causes issues when kind of moving it around, and I didn't like that at first, but you just got to know how to kind of work with it, and you get used to it. Looking at the armor pieces, the one on the left leg is a lot larger now. The one on the right is a little bit larger as well. The little rocket missiles for the knee is blue. This time around, we get more ammo, shotgun shells or whatever, on the right leg. The boots are different. We get a little bit more tread in there, as you can see. There's a lot of crazy sculpted details on this. Like, look at the leg. I don't know why there's so many wrinkles and things going on here on his leg. I don't know if it has to do with the armor. To me, it looks a little bit weird. Like here, like normal waves and wrinkles and folds and stuff is normal. Why this leg is all crazy, I don't really know. Just seems a bit odd to me. I just really don't know why they did it that way. Seems very weird. Like the right leg on the other one was very normal. Well, I guess it had a little bit of wrinkles and stuff, but it wasn't like terrible or crazy or anything. Just seems weird to me, that's all. But let's go ahead and check out the articulation now. Oh, before we get to the articulation, I found the knife. So, see, he can't hold the knife on the left hand. Let's see, on the right, it's more of the grip. He can't really hold it on that hand either. Like, you have to do that, but he can't grip it at all. Okay, so articulation, lots of great movement in the neck. So he can look up, so you could do some flight poses and things like that. He can look all the way down. You can do some great pivot and stuff, rotation in there. The helmet is a full-on sculpted head. It is not like a rubber overlay over a generic head, which I've heard these ones are. That's why it's like pinched in. It seems kind of weird. But no, you could see they sculpted a chin under there, but that is it. The whole thing is a sculpted head. It is not a rubber helmet over a generic head. It is just, this is all plastic there. So just so you guys are aware of that. The arms, you can get the arms to go straight on out like so. The pauldron will move a little bit with it. You don't get a full rotation in the pauldron, but you could with the arms. The shoulders and the upper arms are very small. The pauldrons really hide it, but to me it looks very funny. In my opinion, it's not the end of the world or anything like that, but it does look a little bit funny. There is a butterfly joint, so you can get the arm to go back a little bit. There's not a whole lot of movement in there, but with the rubber overlay, it kind of hinders it trying to move back, and then trying to get some crossbody is just really not going to happen because of that overlay there. You get a swivel at the elbow, because it is a single joint, which gives us just about 90 degrees, which is good. On the left arm, the swivel on the wrist there, and then has a standard horizontal hinge. The right arm goes on out as well, swivel at the elbow, just about 90 degrees as well, maybe a little bit more. And then the wrist, though, with the swivel, you get a vertical hinge because that is the trigger finger hand. So, you know, using the gun and things like that. The rubber overlay and the strap and everything make this a little bit difficult to move, but we do get a diaphragm in there. So you could tilt to the left that much. You could tilt to the right that much there. Going back is very little, though. Coming forward is also very, very little, almost like non-existent. And then getting the twist is a little bit tricky because you got to like really squeeze to really get that diaphragm to do the little turn in there, because otherwise you're just going to try and move the rubber overlay, and it's weird. And again, this rubber overlay is under that rubber overlay, but it's also over it over here, so it just fits kind of weird in getting it to move around. It just takes a little bit of practice. That's why I hated it the first go around of my recording. That's why I'm redoing all of this to make it a little bit easier now that I've messed with it some more. Legs go out that far apart. One thing to note too is the pants, the hip, and the legs are different browns, and I don't know why that is the case. But I think it looks bad. As you can see, a darker brown versus a lighter brown. It's shiny. Just looks kind of weird. But legs go out that far apart. Can't kick forward very high, as you can see there. Leg does go back a little bit. You got an upper thigh cut in there. Single jointed knee, so you get that much bend there at the knee. You get a swivel at the knee. Some people like it. I don't like the swivel, the knee, because I think the knee bend makes it look lower, like way too low on the leg. Like this part's too short. Maybe it should be a little bit higher. It just, in my opinion, it looks a little funny and you don't get much bend. So I really wish the knees would have gotten the double jointed treatment, but unfortunately they did not. Foot hinges all the way down. Barely any hinge up, if any. Ankle pivot pickles at the bottom of the feet. Same thing is going to go for the right leg. Single jointed knee, as you can see there. And then, of course, swivel at the knee. So there's the articulation. Not the greatest, not terrible. I don't know about Figuarts and Mafex, because people think this one is like better than imports. I just still can't see that being the case. I don't know what kind of torso articulation those figures have. I've never seen one in person, never had one, never played with it, so I don't know, and I can't truly give you guys a comparison. But in my opinion, I don't see how this would beat an import. But it is the best Hasbro Mandalorian figure for sure, and does look really good. But I think that's about it. Okay, so here's kind of the final side-by-side as we kind of wrap up with this review. I wish it is easily the best Hasbro has given us for sure. I don't see how it can beat import, but you guys will have to let me know down in the comments below your honest opinions on that. If you think it is better than an import figure or should be better than an import figure, because I have never played with or messed with any of the Figuarts, Mandalorians, or Mafex, I wouldn't know. In a perfect world, if I could get double jointed knees on this one, and like the lower arms of the older one on this one, I think it really would have set it apart differently. The rubber overlay over the torso, I don't mind, but again, because you have this piece that is under it and then also over it, moving this around is like a pain in the ass. And I would prefer that it not be. So maybe it would be good if it was a sculpted torso like the old one, as long as it wasn't like super narrow like this guy is. I mean, I'm not a toy designer. I'm not a toy maker. I don't know if that is the best thing or not. Just to me, with having these separate like floating pieces makes it a little bit hard to kind of handle. The soft goods is the big win. That is so nice that we get soft goods, because this rubber ass cape is just heavy and just gets in the way and everything like that, and it just doesn't look as good. This soft goods one, so much nicer. But again, this figure is coming out again with a rubber cape. So this one is really the way to go. The jetpack, man, what a huge difference this jetpack makes, because of the actual silver color that it was from the show, which again, that's a huge deal in my book. That's a big win. That's how it should have been in the first place. So that is really cool there. The Darksaber is a nice touch. I don't know if I have a Darksaber with another figure. I don't know if it came with another figure. Moff Gideon, maybe. I don't have a Moff Gideon figure. So the Darksaber is cool. It's nice that we can actually clip, hook the hilt onto his belt. So again, the blade does come off and you can just loop it right on in there and it just hangs there, which is a nice touch. The knife, oh, he can't hold the knife. You can't store the knife anywhere unless I'm stupid and can't figure out where it goes. You can't do it anywhere unless you just like stick it somewhere or something. I don't know. And then the holster for the gun, which is nice that we don't have like the little clip where it closes it in. It just holds there, which is definitely a nice touch. So the best Hasbro Mandalorian figure, easily, but better than an import. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on that. Again, this is my second recording of this video because I was very unfair to the figure at first. It takes time to really mess with it. So take your time with it. Get a feel for how it moves around. Because that is going to change your opinion on the figure like it did me. At first I'm like, man, I just don't see the hype about this figure. I don't like it that much. And then I started moving it around a little bit more. I'm like, oh, you know what? Okay. I'm seeing it. I could see it now. So take your time with it and get a feel for it, and then you guys come back here and let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching. This is the way.